Hi, I'm John, and welcome to Edgetone Studios. And today in the studio, I'm feeling slightly under the weather because I had a COVID booster yesterday, and then my session was canceled today, and so I've just been puttering and not been very motivated. So I thought, well, let's do another fun, perfect song video. So the idea behind this series was a non-monetized series because you get copyright strikes when you play other people's music, and I had this thought some time ago listening to The Killers' A Dustland Fairytale, which was the first A Perfect song in this series. How it's cool that some songs just seem perfect. Like end to end, they're exactly what you want them to be from that style of music. And with Dustland Fairytale, it was really a great Killers tune, a driving song with a strong metaphor that went from soft and quiet to just drove through the song, built and built and built. So I've got another song today, this time a little bit different, from a Canadian treasure, our very own Sarah Harmer, from her debut album. And I'm talking about Basement Apartment. Now, where The Killers of Dustland Fairytale was a strong metaphor in the lyric, I see this song as being subtext. It's all about the subtext. What is actually being said? So without further ado, Sarah Harmer's Basement Apartment from her 2000 debut album, You Were Here. Okay, I'm going to stop it before the words come in because I'm already getting emotional. I love this song. It's so good. The style of the song is indie folk pop rock, I guess. I'm not sure how you'd genreify it, but to me, the start sets up the feel of the song, and the start is that that fed back guitar sound. There's a feedback guitar sound that starts in, then the drums kick in, and that drum, I don't know if that's a live drum. I haven't researched live drummer or drum machine. It sounds drum machine-esque, and if it's a live drummer, fantastic what you did there. If it's a drum machine, just as perfect for this song, because that beat is a straight line through the song. That's what I see as the foundation of this song, is that drum beat. But you get that fed back guitar swelling up in behind, the laughter, the acoustic starts in, and then you've got the electric going as a counterpoint to it. So you've got these three layers of guitars that come and go through the song. And listen to it again, and listen to that fed back guitar subtly in behind the other two guitars before the lyrics start, and then I'll go through the first verse. This is the acoustic. And on this side, you got the electric. But you got that feedback still going on. You got the vibe. So many vibes.
Will you live out where the street ends? In a basement apartment with one of your friends? And the tap drips all night. Water torture in the sink. The furnace is burning, but it's still cold, I think.
And then, it just starts to build. So let me break down the way I see this verse. I mean, we're setting up the scene. It's urban setting. The friends, the person she's singing to lives in a basement apartment. And this line, the tap drips all night, water torture in the sink. Perfect. Like perfect. You can just imagine being like 20 or 19 and out on your own for the first time, and you got this crappy basement apartment and the tap drips, and you have no idea how to fix things because you've never been there before, and it's cold and the tap's dripping and keeping you awake all night. to me, it puts me in a place in my life, and I've never been in her mind in this song, but it puts me in a place, and that's what makes this song perfect to me. Let's back up a little bit.
Drips all night, water torture in the sink.
And then when the bass comes in next.
Burning, but it's still cold, I think.
So now you got the bass driving the song. The drum beat just clicking along.
And I can smell the bleach that they use in the hall, but it can't clean the dirt off of me. It's seeping under the door and across the floor. It's starting to hurt every time I breathe. Every time I try to leave. Every time I breathe.
Stopping again. So that the second verse, 2 verses, then chorus. I can smell the bleach they use in the hall, but it can't clean the dirt off of me. And there's the subtext I'm talking about. What has this character done that bleach can't, clean up? And this idea that it's there's no real bleach seeping under the door and across the floor. There might have been a smell of bleach one day, but the idea of the lyric is that this place is putting her in a situation where she's feeling bad about what she's done, and the smell is the reminder that she can't get clean from the situation, right? We can all read into what that situation might have been. And then the lyric, every time I breathe, every time I try to leave, not every time I leave, every time I try to leave. So let's back up to
Off of me. It's seeping under the door and across the floor. It's starting to hurt every time I breathe.
the build right there.
Every time I try to leave. Every time I breathe. Now the toaster sticks and the empties are piled. I haven't been up the stairs in a while now. I gotta wash the sheets on my bed. I gotta watch those things that go unsaid. God, I wish we'd leave it at this. Every time I breathe. Every time I try to leave. Every time I breathe.
Third verse. The toaster sticks, the empties are piled. You can imagine it. You've been there. And I haven't been upstairs in a while now. Gotta wash the sheets on my bed. Gotta watch those things that go unsaid. Oh, so good. God, I wish we'd leave it at this. Like, don't talk about it. Oh, it's intense. And it's subtle. It's subtle. Like, you might have listened to the song before. It's on the radio. I get passionate about this stuff. The way it makes me feel when I hear that song. It's just so good. Okay, let's go back to, let's listen to that whole verse again.
Sticks and the empties are piled. I haven't been up the stairs in a while now. I gotta wash the sheets on my bed. I gotta watch those things that go unsaid. God, I wish we'd leave it at this.
And then we'll be coming up to the bridge.
Every time I breathe. Every time I try to leave. Every time I breathe. And every evening you open the door, you come down. There's nothing like watching TV all night underground. And no one is watching me
Oh, so good. So now we're in the verse. Or sorry, now we're in the bridge. And it's every evening you open the door, you come down. Okay, that sounds like a typical, you live in there and people hanging out. But there's nothing like watching TV all night underground. Yep, staying up late, you're young. And no one is watching me slide below street level, barely alive. No one's even noticing what's going on here. It's insane. Like, it's insane because I don't know why it makes me so freaking emotional. I'm starting to cry trying to talk about it. And I think it's because this song moves me and I've loved it for a long time and I've listened to it a lot, and it, to me, is a perfect song. You know, the metaphor, basement apartment, and she's sliding below street level, barely alive. And when you die, where do you go? You're buried. Well, you could be cremated or whatever, but you know, it's subtext, right? The subtext of what's going on here. Okay, let's go right through the end from the start of the bridge.
You open the door, you come down. There's nothing like watching TV all night underground.
Oh, and this instrumental break is just fantastic. Got the little electric guitar going on there. So many layers. But it hasn't lost that beat, that feel. Starts like the beginning.
In the basement apartment, just like our friends, we always said that we were different. But you know now that we weren't, 'cause there's holes in all the bottles and my lungs hurt every time I breathe.
Take it right to the end here.
Every time I try to leave, every time I breathe.
And you don't get that on the radio. You know, you hear the song on the radio, they're cut, they start talking by then. But the bookend, so we'll go talk about the last verse in a second here, but the bookend intro, outro, I just love that because the drums keep going, the bass drops off, the acoustic guitar and the other electric that are going drop off, and you're left with that feedback guitar that started at the beginning and is layered throughout. It's giving this subtle notes throughout. And if you listen on really good headphones or on, you know, Amphion 218s like I'm listening on when I'm in the room here, you hear all that subtlety, and it's so well mixed and it's so well performed. And like I said, if that's a live drummer, like in the second, I think it's the second verse, you hear the hi-hat backbeat come in. Let's see if I can go back to it without. Let's start from here.
Cold, I think.
Right there, that to me that feels like a live hi-hat backbeat just came in. It still could be sample drum machine. This is 2000. I mean, people have been using electronic music for, you know, for forever. But this last verse here, now we live out where the street ends, because it's, you know, if you think about it, the first one was you live out where the street ends in a basement apartment with one of your friends. But now we live out where the street ends in a basement apartment. Just like our friends, we always said that we were different, but you know now that we weren't, because there's holes in all the bottles and my lungs hurt every time I breathe. Oh, it's storytelling at its best in lyric. Because it's catchy, you've got the repeat going on here. It's laying out a storyline that you can read into, and the subtext is there. So if you just take it at face value, you just sing along, oh yeah, basement apartment with one of her friends, I can't breathe, whatever. But if you listen to it and you get into the lyrics and you start to wonder, well, what's the story here? What was happening? When you write a song, it's sometimes based on real things and then with just other elements thrown in, but it doesn't matter. This is the story of the song now, and that's the important part. So let's just hear the ending again from Barely Alive. That crunchy guitar in there. You got that feedback going on behind there. You can hear it.
Well, now we live out where the street ends, in the basement apartment, just like our friends. We always said that we were different, but now that we weren't, 'cause there's holes in all the bottles and my lungs hurt every time I breathe, every time I try to leave, every time I breathe.
Feedback, drum. Then the drums just drop off. There's even a little, sounds like a cable moving just after the drums kick off, because it's that raw indie sort of song, and it's amazing. And if you have not listened to Sarah Harmer before, and oh my God, check out all of her albums, and her lyric writing is just so fantastic. I'm pretty sure everyone in my family, all four of my kids and myself, are huge fans. Thanks for watching. I do feel really weird getting crying emotional listening to Sarah Harmer, but it's not even a sad song per se. And don't forget to go check out my music with my band Waveform Mountain. Our debut album, Processing, came out this May 3rd, 2024. My daughter, Anders, writes amazing lyrics. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.